Welcome to another edition of Quoth the Raven, Louis Bright Raven. I'm your host, Louis Bright Raven, 29-year veteran writer, illustrator, and editor of comics, science fiction, fantasy, horror, and role playing games. It is Tuesday, November 2nd, 2021, and tonight's topic is we're going to review the previews catalog that just came out last week and talk about different products that have come out, or not coming out, but are being solicited to come out in January. And we're going to talk about a little bit of a hot topic that just came out in the comic scene. Various workers, production staff at Image Comics have formed a so-called comics union, and we'll talk about that and what does that have as an effect on the comic book industry, positive or negative. But let's start with the catalogs. For some reason, my retailer forgot to give me the Marvel catalog, and then when I went back, they gave me the wrong Marvel catalog, gave me a month prior. So we're going to go straight to the Marvel catalog online, has been shared by Games Radar. This is January 2022's Marvel Comics Revealed. Let's take a look real quick. There we go. There's 5 issues of X Lives of Wolverine. Really don't care about this myself, but some people are going to be interested in it. There's multiple covers that you can get here. That's a nice cover. I don't know who the artist is, doesn't say. I'm going to guess. I don't think that's a Kubrick cover. I don't know who that is, but it's not Byrne, but it's Byrne-ish in a way. But there's another one that looks kind of, icky. This is not a cover that impresses me at all. Here's the one by Peach Momoko. That's obviously Peach Momoko's cover. And that's probably, it looks like it might be the Ed McGuinness cover. I don't know, but maybe it's not. I don't know. It really doesn't matter whose cover it is. But there they all are. This is week 1 out of 5. It's supposed to be the biggest Wolverine story of all time. And so he's apparently, he's had so many different identities and lived so many different lives in different places. So now everything's going to be intertwined into one is the base thing. And I'm just kind of like, okay, whatever. Here's issue Deaths of Wolverine. Okay, you got the lives and the deaths of Wolverine, and each one of them is a 5-issue miniseries. I just kind of like, what? It's a reciprocal series, so I don't know. It's just kind of weird. They're both 48 pages. They're both $5.9.99, I believe. Yeah, it's a $6. Just, I don't know. I'm not impressed. There again is the same artist who did the other one. This is, I like the art here, but that's all I can say on that cover. I like that art. That's okay art as well. I think that might be a Kubrick cover or a Jurgens cover. It's a Jurgens cover. I can tell by the way the outline of Wolverine is. Okay. For the head and his claws. Okay. That's a Sam Keith cover. All right. I don't know. But it is what it is. There's number 2. Again, number 2. Then there's Devil's Reign, which is about a storyline where somehow Kingpin becomes mayor of New York City and is hired the Thunderbolts as his personal super-powered elite force that goes against the other superheroes running around in New York. And it's kind of like, we've seen this before with Luther as president over at DC. We've seen this kind of storytelling before, so I'm not really all that interested. Here's another tie into that because he's given Dr. Octopus some sort of leverage here so that Doc Ock can go get all of his different selves from different realities and form an octopi army. Doesn't really impress me either. It's like stuff we've already seen and done. Why are we doing it again? Luke Cage, City of Fire. Okay, our friend Ray Anthony Height's doing the art, so if you're a fan of Anthony's, give it a shot. But again, really not that. Story-wise, I'm just not grabbed by it. Doing it with X-Men, tying it in with the X-Men, just okay, whatever. Now Winter Soldier's involved in it. It's like everything's tied into these silly events. Villains for Hire. This is kind of like their Thunderbolts version of Heroes for Hire. Daredevil, Woman Without Fear. This really does nothing for me, unfortunately, as a cover. What other? Do you have any other covers? No, it doesn't. Okay. There should be, but they didn't show any. All right. They just don't have them loaded up, I guess. I don't know if that's Bacalo or someone else, but there's a variant cover by Brian Hitch and another one by Romita Jr. Either one would be better than that, I think. It's a 3-issue miniseries with Elektra as Daredevil still. I don't know. I guess they're just doing it separate because they just closed the Daredevil arc and Daredevil series with Zdarsky recently. And I guess this is just kind of like a reboot to go in miniseries to me. That's what it kind of looks like to me. And then they have another Elektra miniseries, Black, White, and Blood, with various writers and artists. And I'm like, I don't know. It is what it is. Hold on a second. There we go. All right. The Ben Reilly Spider-Man. Okay, you got J.M. DeMatteis was the guy who wrote the very highly popular historical series for Spider-Man. Craven's Last Hunt. And this is the Ben Reilly version, so you kind of about that probably. But, if anyone can do a decent version of this, it probably would be DeMatteis. David Baldion doesn't really stand out for me as an artist. It doesn't mean he's a bad artist by any means, but he's not someone that I absolutely go crazy over. Variant covered by Dan Jurgens again, and an Alex Maleev cover. There's the Jurgens cover. Again, this is the Steve Scroce cover, which, in a way, the Scroce cover almost looks like a Jurgens cover, just not inked the same. Doesn't have the abdominals that Jurgens would have put in there, but I could see this looking very similar to the Jurgens one too. But again, that's the Maleev, and that's the Jurgens. Surprisingly, they don't really have his abs on there either, but that's interesting. Okay, well, either way, it's okay. I don't have a problem with that. I don't know if we demanded it. Is this because you demanded it? I don't really see how we demanded it. But interesting. but it'll be interesting. But we're basically returning to an era when Ben Reilly was the one true Spider-Man. Well, okay. Interesting, you know. But we'll see. Whatever. It says rated teen plus, and to me, this is like, rated 30 plus. Does the T stand for 30? Because you got to be at least 30 years old to know what the heck the storyline is, what they're talking about, in a way. But okay. But yeah, it'll be interesting. I might look at it. I doubt I'll buy it, but I'll look at it when it comes in the store. This is the Amazing Spider-Man. I'm not familiar with the writer, Cody Ziegler. I don't know who that is offhand. Paco Medina's okay. Beyond Board, different writers there, okay. Art Adams cover. If that's an Art Adams cover, that's not his best work. It really doesn't even look like Art Adams to me, but I'm not saying it's not. I don't know. Let me see if I can enlarge that. It doesn't. Well, yeah, I could see it. Okay, it's just kind of weird the way it's done, but yeah, I guess that is. I don't see a signature anywhere offhand, but there it is. I see it now. All right. Okay. And then here are some of the other covers for that. Really, the only, like I said, it's not Art's best cover, but it's it is his work. Another, it's like they got two of these back to back. This is 85, and then you got 86, so you're double shipping. And I'm kind of like, do we really need to do that? I don't know. That's David Brooks, definitely not Art Adams. That might be Art. I don't know. And that looks like a Mike McCone cover to me. I don't know. Weird. I don't know. It's there. Again, they're doing another one, 87. It's just one after another, trying to get the. Whoops, pardon me. I didn't mean to do that. There we go. There's no more extra covers on that one so far. Mary Jane and Batcat, one shot. Really didn't need it that I can see. She helped bring back to normal, so to speak. I realized that she's been like super bulked up lately, and I don't know if she was red hulked up or just oversized, ridiculous otherwise Hulk, but now she's back to her glamazon version, I guess you could say. Rainbow Rowell, Rohei Antonio, not familiar with him. This is the Art Germ cover, I'm pretty sure, that's being featured. There's your Art Adams cover. I think that's the Jen Bartel cover right there. That looks nice too, for what it is. Nothing wrong with that. That's definitely our Adam Hughes cover. Yeah, that's the Art Germ cover then. And, it's okay. She's no longer Savage. She's got to rebuild her whole life because when she was Savage, she was all of her stuff is ruined, basically. So it's kind of a weird thing. We'll see. Maestro World War M, 1 of 5. This is Peter David with Herman Peralta and Pasquale Ferry on the art. Covered there by Carlos Pacheco. That looks like a Ron Lim cover to me. Don't know who did that cover. That looks like Eric McGinnis. So basically, it's Maestro. Maybe he'll reign over his kingdom. Maybe he won't, because the abomination has risen from the dead and is forming an alliance with other enemies. So, yeah, okay, whatever. Silver Surfer Rebirth, number 1 of 5. This is not the main cover. This is a variant cover by Dan Jurgens. It is the best looking of the covers, in my opinion. That's the main cover, I believe, by Ron Lim. And then that's, I don't know if that's Peaches or not, but I assume that is Peaches because that was the Peach Moko's cover, and then this would be Kimochiano's cover, I'm guessing. Or no, this is Claudio's. This is Claudio Castellini's cover. Pardon me. I should know that better. Sorry about that. That's Claudio's cover. So they don't even show all the covers for there. But if you're interested in that, it's Ron Mars and Ron Lim returning to tell another story. That's, again, harkens back to their earlier run of Silver Surfer from decades ago. Again, if you're 30-something and you read the Silver Surfer of the late 90s, yeah, you might be interested. If you're 30s or your 40s, but I don't see this is going to necessarily appeal to younger reader necessarily. But okay, Sabretooth 1 of 5. Victor Laval with Leonard Kirk with the cover by Ryan Stegman and some variant covers. I'm not even going to worry about which one's there. The Stegman cover looks okay. This is about how Sabretooth was sent to the Pent, which is the hell of Krakoa Island for the mutants. So they're telling us what lies beneath Krakoa, basically. And it's like, okay, whatever. Silk number 1. This is relatively all new creators: Emily Kim, Takeshi Miyazawa, with a cover by In-Hyuk Lee. Might be okay, might not be. I can't say anything on that one. Fantastic Four, Reckoning 4 Alpha. It's just there. It's another Dan Slott project. If you like Dan Slott, great. If you don't, can't recommend it. Pretty simple and straightforward on that. Whoops, went too far. My apologies. He's also doing the regular Fantastic Four with a different artist, Rachel Stott. Was covered by Carlos Pacheco. Again, if Dan Slott's not your bag, I wouldn't recommend it. Otherwise, you can try it. Avengers number 2. Avengers Forever number 2, I should say. Kind of a weird thing. It's an alternate Earth. And they're different characters that are intertwined, as maybe they're Avengers, maybe they're not. I don't know. It's kind of weird. It's got, I don't know. I wasn't really sold on the pitch from issue number 1. I might look at it in the stores. I might not. Thing number 3 of 6. Walter Mosley. I don't know what to think of this. I like Walter Mosley as a writer. He's mostly known for writing crime noir fiction and science fiction, but I know he is a huge fan of the Fantastic Four. He even wrote a foreword for a collection of Fantastic Four a number of years ago. And so I'm interested in seeing what he does here, but this is like halfway through the series. We haven't even seen issue 1 yet, which should come out this month here in November. So hopefully when the Thing number 1 comes out, I'll pick that up and see what Walter comes up with, and then I can go from there on that. this is about Thing basically having a boxing match with the champion of the universe, which, if you don't know that history, it's definitely a throwback story in a way. It's quite interesting, so that'll be interesting to see. Black Panther Legends, number 3 of 4. I don't know anybody involved in this one off the top of my head other than the variant cover by Natasha Bustos. The cover looks okay, by Janoy Lindsay, I guess is who the cover is by. There's really nothing there that makes me go, I want this. Storyline looks interesting, but I don't know. It's interesting. It's a new origin story. Again, I'm not familiar with Tochi Onyebuchi, but I'll have to go look up some of their prose fiction work and see what it is. I'm not going to say he or she, because I really don't know which gender they are. So their work could be either or, but interesting. Captain America Iron Man, number 3 of 5. I just can't. I don't know. I want to get into some of this stuff. It's not really grabbing my attention. It's an interesting callback to like the old Tales of Suspense from the 60s and early 70s that featured half a Captain American story and half a Iron Man story. That's kind of what this is kind of an homage to, modernized, but I don't know. The cover really doesn't speak to me all that much. Storyline description doesn't really do anything for me either, unfortunately. We'll see. Black Panther, says number 3, but it says number 200, so I guess this is the 200th issue of all Black Panthers combined, since they started doing the book back in the 70s. I would think he's had more issues than 200 over the years, but I could be wrong. That's a nice cover. That's your Alex Ross cover. Interesting. Apparently, this is your 200th issue. Apparently, the X-Men are on Mars, so Wakanda has lost her faith in him, so he goes to visit Storm on terraformed Mars. And whatever. I don't know. It's kind of a weird thing. Hawkeye, Kate Bishop, that cover looks ridiculous. I don't like that cover at all. I'm sorry. The storyline sounds interesting. Normally, a kidnapped little girl doesn't result in being surrounded by mind-controlled resort guests who want to attack you, but then being Hawkeye doesn't involve a lot of normal. Her vacation itinerary keeps shortening. 1, escape the hordes. 2, interrogate Susan about what the heck is really going on. And 3, stop the bad guys before they hurt or mind control anyone else ever again. Well, I don't know if they can. She can even do number 3, but she can stop them temporarily, but not about ever again. But like I said, the cover really doesn't grab me, so I probably pass on that one. Ms. Marvel's not really a character that's ever really appealed to me. Not that there's anything wrong with her. She's just not someone I'm interested in particularly. Hulk number 3. This is the new one, Donny Cates and Ryan Otley. This is where he's not immortal anymore. I guess anybody can do whatever they want. Otley is best known for Invincible over at Image. That's been over and done now, so he's been doing stuff at Marvel for a few years. Should be interesting to see what he does with this. This is the 3rd issue of his run with Donny Cates, and I'm pretty sure the art will be at least engaging. I just don't know. Cates really hasn't ever really done anything that really stood out to me, but maybe this will be the right project with the right collaborator. We'll see. Dark Ages 4 of 6. I'm not interested in that one. Venom. I don't know. I don't really know any of these real characters because I haven't really followed the character that much. Nothing about that really grabs my attention. X-Men Legends number 11. This is the Louise Simonson storyline with Walter Simonson doing the art. It's a one-shot type story that links the New Mutants and Apocalypse, which were Caliban leading Pestilence and War, the remaining membership of the Horsemen of the Apocalypse. This is after Archangel stopped being Death. I would have, and left the Horsemen, I would imagine. So it's interesting to see what they're going to do with that. But again, it's a throwback story. This is like a story that takes place in between different stuff of like 35 years ago, 40 years ago. So, it's interesting that they're trying to pander in a way to that era of audience base, but I don't know. I already have that. I don't know. It's interesting though that they do that. X-Men number 7. I really don't understand the point of that cover, but it is what it is. It's Crapton, yeah, Captain Krakoa and the X-Men. Dr. Stasis makes his deadliest move yet as Captain Krakoa takes charge of the X-Men. But what is the lie at the heart of the newest mutant hero? Who knows? Honestly, who cares? I hate to say that, but Captain Krakoa, you heard me. I said Crapton, and I wasn't even meaning to say it, but that's just kind of that's what I think of it in a way. Captain Crapton. I don't know. Marauders. This is a mess. Of course, Kate Pride back at the helm. She's doing her usual shtick as pirate queen mutant, and her clique group is with her, but whatever. New Mutants 25. Yeah, it's funny, we got Vita Ayala and Rob Reese doing modern New Mutants instead of Louise Simonson, and Louise is doing retail stories of 40 years ago. I don't know. That kind of tells you how kind of messed up Marvel is, in my opinion. But yeah, I'm just not into this. Tech on Avengers 6 on 6. Avengers Tech on Avengers. Like, yeah, that's a play on Tack on Avengers. Yeah, it's like, yeah, all these nobody characters, tack them on. Yeah. I don't know. Jim Zub, I don't know. Fantastic Four Life Story. Mark Russell with Sean Azaski. Okay, it's there. Nothing wrong with it. Moon Knight. I've never been able to get into this version of Moon Knight with the him in the suit like that, suit and tie. Um, I don't know. It just looks kind of weird to me. I don't know, but give me back the original one uh, with the cowl and the cape and the Egyptian hieroglyphics and stuff like that. That was my Moon Knight. This thing, I don't know what this is. Death of Doctor Strange Bloodstone. This is one I will probably look at. It's a one-shot book, just because I like Bloodstone and I want to see what they do with it. But it'll be interesting to see that. So I'm going to look at that one. Death of Doctor Strange. I don't know. That story doesn't really do much for me. Wish it did, but it hasn't. Defenders number 505, again, doesn't really do much for me. I don't like this particular collection of characters as the Defenders. Avengers 52, it's okay. Spider-Man 19, it's there. Miles Morales, Spider-Man, if you're interested, it should be okay, I guess. Again, it's another Beyond, whatever Beyond is, the Beyond Corporation. I just kind of. The Marvels. This is probably one of the better books Marvel's putting out right now. Kurt Busiek writing, Gilderay Snar drawing. Was covered by Alex Ross. But this, it's interesting. I mean, it's Kurt doing what he does on Astro City, but applying it to the Marvel Universe. And, it's interesting to read. And Yildiray does a nice job on the illustrations, as he usually does. This is probably one of the better books, if a top 3 book that Marvel's publishing right now. Phoenix Song Echo number 4 or 5 really doesn't speak to me at all. I'm kind of, I don't know about most of you out there, but I'm tired of the Phoenix stuff, and it's like, just let it go. And this, of course, has the Adversary, which, for those of you who don't remember who the Adversary is, that's kind of like a Native American demonic entity that Storm and Forge had to fight many, many years ago, like around the 220s of Uncanny X-Men. So it's like this character's been around a while. So it'll be interesting to see what they come up with that. But I might look at it, I might not. I just, storyline wise, I'm just kind of like, I don't know. Maybe because I haven't read X-Men in a long time, a lot of this stuff just doesn't click with me like it would have maybe 10 or 12 years ago, but who knows? Iron Man by Christopher Cantwell, Abram Robertson, was covered by Alex Ross. Kind of wish they didn't have the Alex Ross cover on this. I'd like to see what Robertson's work with the cover would have been like instead. They didn't do that. They did Pete Wood's cover instead here for the homage variant. I would have rather had seen Robertson do the main cover and Alex Ross do the variant. Just my opinion. He's been imbued by the power cosmic, and he's now, the Iron God. And it's, kind of like, is he actually a threat, or is he actually going to do quality? Well, let's face it, even when Tony's in his most altruistic, nice guy mode, he's a threat. So that's kind of an obvious thing. Black Widow 14. It's Kelly Thompson. If you like Kelly Thompson, great. Apparently, this is an Eisner Award-winning series. I don't know why. No offense to Kelly, but I haven't really been able to. Something about Kelly's writing for Marvel just does not appeal to me. I like her when she does her own, create her own stuff, but the Marvel stuff just falls flat. I don't know why. Same thing with Captain Marvel 36. Shang-Chi number 8. This is the true origin of his family. It's storyline that's concluding. And then in the present, he's still trying to fight off an assassination attempt from all sides. Okay. Kind of a weird thing. Okay. But, yeah, it is what it is. Eternals number 9. I wish I cared. I don't. Strange Academy is interesting. Humberto Ramos should be appealing to some people artistically. Scotty Young's an all right writer. I don't know. It's just interesting. It's Marvel's version of Harry Potter in a way, but I don't know. I can't really. I'm not against this one, but it's not my cuppa either. This cover for Thor number 21 does absolutely nothing for me. I don't really understand what's going on with that piece, other than he's got something laying on his chest. And for some weird reason, his arms are in a weird position for laying back. It just doesn't quite work. It's just not a very good illustration. Sorry, Nick Klein. Apparently, the God of Hammers is about to end him. But there's one last chance to save Thor. But at what cost? Whatever. Savage Avenger with Conan and the Avengers just doesn't really mean anything to me. This is the last storyline, apparently. And, well, thank you for the adventure. No, thank you for going bye-bye. That's what I have to say about that one. Kazar, Lord of the Savage Land, number 5 of 5. Cover looks interesting. By Jesus Saez, but I don't know. Or Saez. Just, Alien. Kind of burned out on Alien. King Conan, it's got art by Mahmoud Razrar, so if you like Mahmoud's work, that should be fine. Other than that, don't really have much to say about it. That's a weird looking lightsaber to me that the Wookiee is holding. I don't know what that is. If that's supposed to be a lightsaber or something else, it's just kind of weird looking cover there. I don't know. Most of the stuff just really isn't getting to me like it should. Some of these covers look like they're just painterly pieces. They're not really telling a story per se. And I wish that they would. Here's another one, High Republic. He's got the sword with the hilt going there with the ends like a sword instead of the regular lightsaber, and I just don't understand what that is. It is what it is, though. Story about the Crimson Guard. It's interesting if they're there. I don't know. Can't really say much about that one. The Bounty Hunters is the Bounty Hunters. If you like them, you'll probably like the book. Dr. Afra has never really impressed me. I've tried to read a couple of the trades, never really could get into it. Um, this is a really bad line storyline. Um, Ace Rival pilot Shara Bay, Poe Dameron's mother, was left for dead aboard the Tarkin's Will, a huge Star Destroyer. She survived and been hiding deep inside the massive ship ever since, evading notice from the commander. But her time was up. Can she live long enough to escape? Well, I would certainly hope so, because otherwise Poe Dameron wouldn't exist, right? So, either, you know, now maybe she's already given birth to Poe. I don't know, but it just seems like that was kind of a weird one to me. So that's pretty much your lineup for Marvel. There's a couple of things, like I mentioned, that kind of sort of interested me, but not that much. Okay, DC Connect. The first cover is Batman the Knight. It's 10 issues by Chip Zdarsky, illustrated by Carmine Di Giomenico. And that's like their big whoop-de-doo book. They're making a big stink out of. And what it's about is the origin of Batman and his never-ending fight against crime in Gotham City is modern mythology, but what of the story in between? How did an angry, damaged young man grow into the most accomplished detective and crime fighter the world has ever known? How did the Dark Knight begin? Superstar writer Chip Zdarsky and acclaimed artist Carmine Di Giomenico, who apparently was the artist on The Flash most recently, will take Bruce Wayne on a fraught journey, making allies and enemies on his training to become Batman in a definitive new series. Guess what? Screw you, DC. Batman Year One was enough. Thank you. I don't need you to retell the damn story again. I just, I don't need that, and neither does anyone else. Rehash, recycled, reconstituted, rewarmed, reheat it in the microwave. Here you go. Have some more same old shit. Batman number 119 by Joshua Williamson and Jorge Molina. Batman versus Abyss. I don't know. What do you guys think of that art? I'm trying to make heads or tails out of what the heck that's supposed to be. Is his ribs showing, or has he got some sort of armor that shows like ribs, or is he a robot, or what? Just not very well designed, in my opinion. I don't know. Detective Comics 1049, written by Mariko Tamaki. I'm sure people are already complaining about her being the writer because she's the one who wrote I Am Not Starfire. The controversial story about Raven being the daughter of Starfire. Or not Raven, but not Raven, I guess you could say. The one thing that even remotely interests me is the 1 in 25 variant cover by Jorge Fornes, which has a kind of just more or less for the graphics of it. It's the one on top here, where you can see the Arkham Asylum with glowing eyes and a gaping maw at the bottom at the entranceway. That looks that's an interesting design. I like that design, but would it be enough for me to go spend an extra couple of bucks as a variant cover? No. Then we got 1050 as well. It's a double-sized issue, or an oversized issue anyway. It also has something going on with Mark Waid in here. I don't know, but at least that's what they're advertising. But it's the 4th chapter in the Shadows of the Bat weekly event. So here you go again, another weekly event. This is probably countering what's going on with Spider-Man and their Beyond weekly event or whatever. And why? They're late. Batman and Catwoman Christmas is past special. That should have come out in the previous catalog, not to be shipped in January or February. Should have been shipped in December. So I don't know why that was screwed up. There's a new team and direction for Catwoman, apparently, by Teeny Howard and Nico Leone. Apparently, she's gotten bored of Alleytown and has returned to Gotham City proper for bigger fish to fry. And she's going to steal stuff from crime bosses for blackmail and look damn sexy doing it. Okay, whatever. And of course, don't we all just want to have a cover of her doing a pole dance? What does that got to do with the storyline? I don't know. Well, it has something to do with the storyline. Her first blackmail heist is to be disguised as a stripper at the most secure underground club. So she's hiding in plain sight in 5-inch platform heels among the gathered crime mob syndicate as a stripper. And yeah, okay. Don't need it. Dark Knights of Steel continues with issue 3. That means Dark Knights of Steel. In fact, I think Dark Knights of Steel just comes out this week, actually, or last week, the first issue. So you might want to check that out. Tom Taylor writes it with art by Yasmin Putri. Here's some of the interior art for that. It's not bad looking. Let's see. Apparently there's going to be a Gold Lantern saga written by Bendis, which is Justice League versus the Legion of Superheroes. Has something to do with, I don't know what. Somebody's becoming a Gold Lantern, whatever that is. To be honest, it doesn't really mean anything, and it's part 1 on top of it, so I don't know. Superman and Robin special, number 1. Of course, this is the John Kent version of Superman. And it has Damian Wayne as Robin, and it's written by Peter J. Tomasi. It's just there. Yeah, whatever. Peacemaker disturbing the peace. The only reason this is being made is because they had a John Cena Peacemaker in Suicide Squad. Otherwise, this would not be getting made. Lovely cover. Just stand there in a pile of blood that reflects your body stands as you stand there. I don't know. I'm just... Now, of course, there's supposed to be an HBO Max TV show featuring him, too. So, there you go. Isn't that nice? Thank you, John Cena. Art-wise, it doesn't do anything for me. Batman the Detective doesn't do anything for me. Batman the Imposter doesn't do anything for me. There's a Black Adam box set, which, of course, ties into the Black Adam movie with The Rock. That wouldn't be getting made if it weren't for that. Infinite Frontier, that's a collection, as far as I know. It's a collection of all the Infinite Frontier stories that we've already seen. The Nice House on the Lake from Vertigo, or Black Label, rather. Would be a Vertigo book otherwise if they'd had Vertigo. This is volume 1. It's a good story as far as what it's been. This is the collection of, I think, the first 5 or 6 issues. Let's see. What does it collect? Let's see how many. First 6 issues, because it says you can be all caught up when it returns with issue number 7 for the singles. So, again, this collects issue 1 through 6. If you don't want to buy it out, it says it's a sold out horror hit. I don't know if it was or not. I remember seeing it. It looked okay. I didn't get it, but we'll see. I'll look for it again. Um, Teen Titans Beast Boy Loves Raven. Um, Basically, the whole YA version of it. Um, it's okay. Um, and then the trilogy of Raven, Beast Boy, and Beast Boy Loves Raven as well, so you can get all three of them. All written by Cami Garcia with art by Gabriel Piccolo. Uh, it's okay. A lot of stuff in here just really, it is what it is. I wish there was something here that uh, meant something to me. This is kind of annoying. There's Aquaman, Green Arrow, Deep Target number 4. And you can see that little cover there with the guy shooting there. That is clearly ripped off of a John Byrne commission piece with like Captain. It was the 2 Captain Marvels that John Byrne drew, and the DC Captain Marvel Shazam was the one lifting instead of Aquaman, and the one shooting would be the Marvel version, Marvel shooting out with his arm with the Nega Blast. And instead, they got the guy here holding the gun, shooting a gun. But it's obvious, complete rip off of that art. So that's kind of a. The cover's by Marco Santucci. I better see After Burn on that cover, bitch. Yeah. Blue and Gold, that's number 6. That's Dan Jurgens, art by Ryan Sook. Him doing his love for Blue Beetle and Booster Gold, that's fine. DC versus Vampires, it's number 4, whatever. Deathstroke Incorporated, we already had Batman Incorporated. Why do we need that? I don't know. It is what it is. Green Lantern number 10, so far the only book listed here I'm going to buy because that's the only book I actually like right now from DC. Still Jeffrey Thorne with art by Tom Rainey and Marco Santucci. Covered by Bernard Chang and a variant by Alan Quoth. Let's see. Anything else? I'm really wishing there was. I'm just not seeing it, guys. I'm confused a little bit. There's a Task Force Z comic coming out. This is issue number 4. I didn't see issue 1 out, but okay, whatever. I thought Task Force Z was Suicide Squad, but whatever. Because I got Suicide Squad separate. They brought back another version of World of Krypton. This is issue number 2. It's like, come on, man. We've done how many different Worlds of Krypton? You got Batwing by Luke Fox, written by Palmiotti and Justin Gray. That's a collection. These are their collection editions. Maybe the Batwing with Luke Fox by Palmiotti and Gray, or the Catwoman by Brubaker and the late Darwin Cook. The Catwoman of East End omnibus. Those two I might consider or would recommend to others potentially. Let's see. Maybe the Fourth World by Jack Kirby box set. It's a little expensive at $120, but you're getting 4 hardcover. I think it's hardcover. Let's see. Can't really tell. No, they're soft covers. They're 4 soft cover books in a box set. I don't know if that's worth it or not. It is Kirby though. If you want the classic Kirby Fourth World stuff, though, there it is. It is offered. Make sure you check that out. That's on page 35 of the catalog. I'm kind of looking through this, and like I said, the only thing I've seen that I would definitely get is the Green Lantern number 10, but honestly, I wish I could recommend more than I am. No. Now, this is funny. The Batman Scooby-Doo Mysteries number 10, the cover is hilarious. But it harkens back to people who watched TV in the 70s. I don't know if you guys can see that cover there. They're all standing there in a pyramid doing water skiing against whatever critter they're going up against. And we haven't seen the superhero water skiing shows since the late 70s or early 80s. So it's like you're really reaching back visually. Someone my age, I'm almost 50. Yeah, I'm going to recognize it and remember and have sort of a nostalgic, oh, that's kind of cool. But most people under the age of 30 are going to look at this and go, what the hell is this? But that's pretty much what I think of the DC version. Okay, let's go into the main catalog. There's quite a bit. I'm going to go through my actual order form here. To start with, this is Previews number 398. Has the Panther cover on it. This is Panther new launch through, I believe it's Dynamite. Dynamite's doing it. So, Dynamite tends to just do stuff that doesn't really appeal to me, but that's okay. We'll start with Image. Aerosmith Behind Enemy Lines, number 1 of 6. You see I have a question mark and then a check mark. The reason I put a question mark first was because I don't have the original run from before in my collection anymore. And I was like, do I really want to get this if I don't have the original story to go back? Well, they are offering the trade collected edition of the original's storyline. So that's why I hit the check mark, and I'm going to go ahead and get it. And I'm going to get the collected edition, so I have the older story, original story as well. Here's some more of the artwork for that. Again, this is Kurt Busiek writing and Carlos Pacheco art. I think it's Carlos Pacheco. Let me make sure. Yes, Carlos Pacheco, Jose Rafael Fontieres, and Jose Villarrubia. Some people are going to be interested in Joe Hill's Reign. I'm not, but it's a 5-issue miniseries written by Joe Hill and David M. Booher. That's the guy who writes Canto that I always promote. So, it's not like I'm against it in any way. Artist is Zoe Thorogood. But this is Chris Royale and Ashley Wood's new Zizigi publishing imprint, which is basically about LGBTQ types. And it's about this couple who have to figure out what they're doing when they get hit by some sort of metallic rain that passes through them, as you can kind of see from the cover. And it's like kind of a weird thing. And I'm like, I just don't know. You see, there's, she got hit by a water pellet, and then she pulls it out, and that, it's like this metal, like, thing, and that's a raindrop of metal. And as you can see, that's kind of damaging. So, yeah. So it's kind of an interesting, weird thing. Saga 55. They're coming back with a new story arc if you're into Saga. I'm not, but that doesn't mean it's not worth your time. And you can get all the trade paperbacks collecting the first 54 issues as well. Let's see, what is this? This is something. Oh, that's the Monkey Meat number 1. Not my thing, but some people might want to be interested. I guess since I think other people might be interested. It's by Uniba. This is their Generation Image whoopie-doo. But if you see a Generation Image, it's not Generation Image. All it is Image's version of the Stormbreakers crap from Marvel. These are the hot new talent. And this is who we discovered and who we're making into superstars. So you better pay attention. Type nonsense. You don't dictate to us who we want to be fans of. Get that through your thick skulls, publishers. and stop pretending like you, Image, or you, Marvel, discovered and developed these talents, because you didn't. Guys like me, guys like David Campidi, Dan Votto when he was running Slave Labor Graphics, Ed Dukeshire, the late Gary Reed, Randy Zimmerman, who unfortunately, for those who don't know, he's got COVID and he's in the hospital and not doing very well. We wish you all the best. Get well, Randy. But all those people are the ones that discover and develop these talents, not Marvel, not Image, not DC. Again, this goes back to the Aerosmith. That showed you the new version. There's the advertisement for their Volume 1 that collects the entirety of the thing in a hardcover. So I'm going to get the hardcover. The only thing I can warn you, though, is the hardcover edition does come out after the new series. Don't know why they scheduled it that way. Kind of silly. I would have put the hardcover out at the same time or beforehand myself, but that's just my opinion. There's another one called Made in Korea by Jeremy Holt and George Shaw. It collects Made in Korea 1 through 6. That's on page 64. It's about a 9-year-old named Jesse who gets adopted from Korea and sent to live with a couple in Korea, or in America, rather. Socially awkward, but equipped with a seemingly encyclopedic brain, the young girl's journey travels through complexities of race, gender, and identity, and hits a fork in the road when she discovers that she's not entirely human yet. And that's because she's actually artificial intelligence and not a real human. So that's kind of an interesting thing there. It's $16.99 for 160 pages. I might actually get that. I don't know. That's interesting. But it does collect 1 through 6, so I might actually just go look in my store and see whether or not they've got the back issues. If they've got the back issues, I might just get the back issues. But let's see. That's pretty much their thing. And then again, here's their whoopie-doo page. Here we are, Generation Image. For 30 years, we've cultivated the reputation for publishing groundbreaking storytelling. Here's our clique of people that are just all these new people, and it's like, I've seen many of these people for years now. I mean, how many? I'm gonna talk about Booher. They got David Boo here for Joe Hill's Reign. I'm like, Jesus Christ, I've been talking about him for 2-3 years now with Canto over at IW. What are you talking about? You're not publishing some groundbreaking guy. This is just his next project that you just happen to be publishing. The last issue of Deep Beyond 12 of 12 is available. I've been getting that regularly, so I'll get that. I can't remember if I promoted Newburn in the past. I got a question mark by it. It's written by Chip Zdarsky and Nadia Shamas. It's kind of like a James Bond type thing. I don't know. We did talk about the Magic Order recently in Booktober. Mm-hmm. So the Magic Order number 2, number 4 of 6, the second story arc is there. About 2/3 finished. You can always go ahead and wait for the trade collection on that one. But it kind of tells you where they're at. Not a whole lot else coming out here. Of course, they do have the What's the Furthest Place from Here by Matthew Rosenberg, number 3, and that's the one with the record, 7-inch vinyl record that you can play the music soundtrack with it. So there's that. So I've been telling you about that one, and I'll just let you know what's still going on. We're now into the Dark Horse stuff. Basically, Maze Book 5 of 5. The last of that story I've been promoting and reviewing is out next month in January. So make sure you order that if you've been reading it. Again, Image is making a big deal about David M. Booher. We're publishing David M. Booher, Generation Image. He's doing Killer Queens at Dark Horse at the same time. He's got Canto over at IEW. Yeah, you're really publishing the groundbreaking new people. By yourself, you're the one. I'm sorry, it infuriates me when they do this stuff. Don't get me wrong, I want nothing but the best for David. He's a great guy, good writer, but I don't like when they kind of give you false advertising when these publishers. This is available for the first time in English at Dark Horse. Cat and Gamer Volume 1. Mm-hmm. It's about a video gamer who adopts a stray cat, and doesn't know what to do with it, basically. It's about her social life and lack thereof, because she doesn't do anything but game, go to work, get home as fast as she can from work to game. But now she's got this cat and she doesn't know what to do with it. It looks interesting to me. It sounds like fun, so I thought I'd give that a shot. That's on page 113. That's pretty much the only stuff from Dark Horse. That brings us over to IDW. Usagi Yojimbo, Lone Goat and the Kid by Stan Sakai, of course, with David Peterson. This is a reprint of the storyline originally from certain arc. So you can order that one. And then, of course, you got the next page that says Talk. All of these are the actual covered collected editions of the Usagi Yojimbo reprint stories that they're doing, which is what this is. With our Lone Goat and the Kid is the newest reprint arc. But you can get the I can't even read this stuff right now. My eyes are just not. I don't know if I got it's a light. I don't have enough light. That's what it is. There we go. Sorry about this. I hate putting light like that on my face, but Sunroku and Other Stories, 192 pages, 1999. Homecoming and Tengu War, and then Samurai and Warriors Road. All that stuff. If you haven't been collecting Usagi, they've got it all there for you. You don't have to go buy the high end $40-$50 version from Dark Horse, because they do offer that. The more affordable versions over at IDW. For Alan Moore fans, they do have a 25th anniversary edition of Voice of the Fire. It's like $15 for 312 pages. Be coming out in March. I'm not going to get into what all that's about. It's a little bit complicated for me. But if you're looking for Alan Moore and you've read the Marvel, you've read the DC type stuff, you've read the AD 2000 stuff, this is worth your time. Speaking of David M. Booher again, Lionhearted, Canto 3, Lionhearted, volume number 6 is out. So there you go again. So there you go. Here he is with 3 different publishers at the same time, but Image is making a big stink about him. You're a little late there, Eric Stevenson. Yes, I'm going to keep picking on that. And there's a reason why I'm going to keep picking on that in a moment. Yeah, nothing else from again, Usagi Yojimbo 25, which is, the newest stuff from him. This one's going to have a special cover by Matt Wisniewski, so that'll be interesting to look at. Dynamite didn't really show me much of anything, although I will again mention that Panther #1 is relaunching. So if you're into the Panther character for some reason, Tom Zagnoski and Janine Akashin are writing with Igor Lima, doing the story. It's about the Egyptian queen eternally cursed to transform into a savage beast. First time she's had her own series in a decade. So next thing is Boom. We got Cursed Pirate Girl, Devil's Cave, #1. This is the newest storyline. They also offer the back issue stuff. If you didn't get the originals from before, let me see if I can get you up closer to the. It doesn't really want to. Get you the quality of the art to focus it. There we go. Some really nice, sharp, clean art there. But you can get the first one in soft cover trade and also the 2015 annual. That tells you how long ago it was. It's been a long time since Jeremy Bastian did this. But it's a continuation from the first series, so you can get all the storylines. They are offering it all, and I am going to get all of it. Because I'd heard about it in the past, but I never saw it, and I missed it. And so this is going to be $10 for 48 pages, black and white. Of course, you saw the level of detail of the art. All this stuff is black and white, but I don't care if it's color or black and white if it's not good. Here's some more of the artwork that you can see. So that'll be one I recommend. For those of you who are Buffy fans, Angel fans, there's a new Angel miniseries coming up, but written by Christopher Cantwell with Daniel Bayliss doing the art, where Angel is a celebrity, kind of like living a double life as a real monster hunter while being the actor type thing. It's kind of this weird thing going on with that. I don't know. I've lost my interest in Buffy and Angel, unfortunately. Partly because, not so much the comics, as the comics themselves, not necessarily that they're good or bad. It's just that it's one of those things for me that if you don't have the cast performing the characters, they bring the magic to make me care about those characters, and you don't have that magic on the page as you do with their performance. So I think that's what it is for me in that respect. Same thing with Firefly. Without the actual cast performances, I just can't get into it. Once in Future, Volume 4. For those who've been reading that, you guys know I read this in trade. The new trade comes out. Pardon me. Comes out in March. So they're soliciting it in November for March release, but there it is. Pardon me. Long day. Good luck. Softcover? No. No. That's pretty much what we've got for the Boom stuff. So now we're into the meat of the catalog where I usually get my stuff. Aftershock has Bylines in Blood. This is about future America where journalism is more or less dead, so all journalists are kind of like private eyes now. And it's about this one female that's trying to find out who killed her editor, basically. And she's, going to be interesting to see where that goes. So that'll be an interesting storyline. I'm looking forward to seeing where that goes. That's pretty much the only Aftershock book that I think I made note of. As far as the new stuff, they do have Clans of Malari and Welcome or Beyond the Breach and trade paperback. I have been talking about those in recent weeks, months. So they're miniseries. So if you liked what you heard about those when I did my book reviews on those, the new trades are out. If you haven't been able to get them in the singles, you can order them. This catalog in the trade collections. So I'll get your first 6 issues for both. Well, I take that back. 1 through 4 on Clans of Balari and 1 through 5 on beyond the reach. I keep on wanting to say 6 because it looks like a 6 for some reason, but it's a 5. All right. And there's also this really kind of cool original graphic novel from Aftershock, page 230. It's from their Seismic Press imprint for young adult. It's called Fear Book Club. And, you think Fear Facebook. It's not Facebook. It's about yearbook. Your yearbook club in high school. Only they're in 6th grade, so it's a junior high yearbook, Fear Book Club. And it's about the supernatural thing about that. So that looks interesting, and I might pre-order that. I don't know, but it looks interesting to me. And just out of just an interesting point, Aftershock does offer retailers interesting display cases for their books, floor and shelf displays. I think that's kind of cool if they do that, trying to help promote their own books. But also, you can always cut off the top and just, put any comics in there and still have displays to promote other books when you don't want to promote Aftershock books. But anyway, keep going. One thing I did notice from Antarctic was Planet Comics number 5. And that's on page 241. And the reason that I noticed that cover, and as you see, I got a question mark by it. First off, I hadn't even heard about it. I missed this one for some reason. But it has a cover by Newton Burcham. And I remember that from the 80s. I remember this character from the 80s. And that caught my eye. So I'm they're not all labeled and bookmarked in the catalog where I saw stuff I was either going to order or should mention to you folks. We'll do them as fast as we can find them, though. Mm-hmm. We have All My Friends on page number 296 from Farrar, Straus, and Giroux. All My Friends is the final standalone book. It's a resolicit from July's catalog. I don't know if you guys remember this. This is the third book from the story about Bina. Which one? Go this one. All right. And this is the one who's got the guitar and her friends. She's going to be featured on her TV show. and her friend Austin. I don't know if you guys remember this. I read the first two books to you guys, or not to you guys, but reviewed the first two books. So this is the third one. So I don't remember. Unfortunately, I don't remember the first two books, but I didn't mark that, so I'm going to mark that in my book here, and then I'll do a little more research on that and talk about that again down the road. See, that's one of the good things about me going through this with you live. Stuff I think I've already checked through everything and picked up. I see stuff. Oh, wait, I missed that. There's Heavy Metal 313. Mostly I just mention it because I always get it. I like the cover. Looks kind of like a steampunk, redheaded steampunk Lara Croft there. That looks kind of interesting. But I'm not really worrying about the Scott McCloud books, but I guess I should make note of them. On the page prior to that, they do have Understanding, Reinventing, and Making Comics from HarperCollins Publishers. There's the Understanding, Reinventing, and Making Comics. Those are often considered required reading in the do-it-yourself type category. Someone asked me about Frank Thorne's Ribbit from Hermes Press. Do not get that book. They misprinted it. There is pages missing, and instead of going back and printing it properly, they just printed an extra page and slid it in. And then say, well, that's, in the middle of your story. Oh, by the way, go back to this loose page that we put in the book for you to read. So I would, for $25 or $35, don't bother. Wait until they're dumb enough to do it, smart enough to do it the right way. Shouldn't say dumb enough, smart enough to do it the right way. Let's see. It's Alive has Dose number 4. That's the one about the science fiction story about the drugs. And then there's Strange Attractors, number 10. Features another Terry Wood cover. Awesome. Also, Terry's also known as Lisa Challenger. But I get all 3 of the Strange Attractors covers every time. That's getting the classic on the top right, the new cover on the left corner, and then the bottom Strange Attractors is the Terry C. Wood cover. So I get all 3 of those. Tangled River is a new one, but I'm not really interested in that story. Let's see. Mad K Studios has Beautiful Garden number 5, or Bountiful Garden, number 5. That's kind of a sort of a weird science supernatural horror book. You see, kind of tell from the cover there, she's being sucked up by the garden. So that's kind of an interesting thing. I just started reading that one. I got issue number 2. I don't know if I have issue number 1 or not. I thought I did, but I can't find it. So anyway, Magnetic is producing The Collected Toppy by Sergio Toppy. There's 6 volumes available. Each one is $25. He's basically a master illustrator. And, I was certainly, I got a question mark by it. And I say pass on, I think, on there, or cite, as it says cite, means make mention of it. I'm going to end up passing because I just don't have the money right now to afford all 6. But I'm sure if they'll keep those books in print, and I'll probably get them down the road, just not right now. Just can't pre-order them. Oni really doesn't have anything I'm really interested in talking about. Let's see. Scout has a lot of stuff worth bringing up. We start with Impossible Jones, number 3. That is the series that I've been promoting with Carl Kiesel every once in a while here on the channel. This is the mass market edition for the first storyline, the first story arc. So if you've seen the Impossible Jones stuff and you've liked what you've seen on the channel about that, you can order 1 through 3 from Scout through Diamond. There's also It Eats What Feeds It, trade paperback. This is the new printing. This is a great teenage horror story about a young college kid who gets offered a job at a place where there's this woman who's kind of sort of a witch, but she's got her own like curse on her, and he falls in love with her and stuff like that. The Brahaponauts Triangle, number 1. I've got a question mark and a check mark. It seems to be another one of those one and dones, nonstop. You get number 1 and then you get the trade. I'm going to get the number 1 Triangle single just to show you guys so that you might order the trade when it comes out. So there's that. Some people are going to want the Sartorial Geek number 1. That is the interviews with different creators. This one they're interviewing Kelly Sudaconic. I'm indifferent to that, so that's why I'm not going to get it. But it doesn't, some people are interested in that and they like her, so that's fine. Let's see. No. Titan's big thing right now is that they've got the Cowboy Bebop license. They're doing issue number 204. That's based off the new Cowboy Bebop live action series that'll be on Netflix. I don't know if they're I guess this is the live action adaptation, or if this is stories that are based off of that version. I don't know exactly what it's going to be, but it's interesting to me. So I'll get that because I was always a Cowboy Bebop fan anyway. That's pretty much all from Titan, I think. Tomorrow's Publishing has back issue number 134. You guys know I always get back issue. I'm also getting the Best of Draw magazines, volume 1 and 3. Different articles by different people. There's articles featuring Brett Blevins and Daniel Brereton and other people, and that's on page 364. Let's see. Whoops. Okay, that's right. Then there's Vault. We Ride Titans. This is issue number 2 from Vault. So that's kind of like another one of those Mechazoid type books. So I'm interested in that. Let's see. From W.W. Norton, um, they're re-releasing the Will Eisner drawing collection. Will Eisner's comic and sequential art, graphic storytelling and visual narrative, and expressive anatomy for comics and narrative. That's on page 390 or 380. I don't know. I'll let you know in a second. But there it is. And those are like $25 each. But they're certainly worth every penny. Because it is Will Eisner, who is basically a deity in this business. 380. Yeah, 380. Let's see. Pretty much sure there's only one more thing in here that I actually made note of, and that's Battle Age of Alita from Kodansha Manga Comics. Yeah, they got volume 4 for $12.99 on page 413. So that was pretty much, I think, the last of the things I noticed. But that's quite a bit. So, that's what I found and thought was worth mentioning in this month's catalog. So hopefully I showed you some stuff that might interest you as well. Now, in the meantime, we did have another topic of discussion, and that is the situation with Image Comics and their workers announcing they formed a unions. Okay, employees of publisher Image Comics have begun the process of unionizing, as explained in a series of tweets from the newly organized Comic Book Workers United, which lays out the employees' collective goals and demands as a union. Image Comics issued a statement in response on Monday evening. In the United States, labor unions are organizations comprised of members of a particular industry or trade who come together to ensure better working conditions for members of that field through collective bargaining. Through many entertainment fields, from writing to directing, acting, journalism, and even music, have labor unions associated with their industries. Comic books have never had a full-on union, despite calls from creators and behind-the-scene staffers and editors. They aim to organize and bring together Image Comics staffers working behind the scenes on the production aspects of comic book publishing, and so they have formed their unions. And it's fine. They're basically challenging Image more than anything else, and saying that their own efforts to improve their material working conditions to the circumstances that led Image's founders to vacate Marvel in the early 90s. And that's not really true, but, okay, fine. They have a website, and they've got demands on their own website. I'm not going to get into that. Image's response is, we've always believed in the fair and equitable treatment of staff, as has always tried to support employees to the best of our company's ability with regard to employment. And that's their entire statement. And that is true, given what their actual structure is as a company. Their company, now, what this union actually is they're talking about associate editors, production staff, marketing staff. Now, I don't know who all gets paid what there. It's not my business. But there is no real human resources departments. There's no place to really turn to if you're mistreated by somebody other than the partner members, who are their own clique group functional unit. And in fact, some of them are the ones who are the abusers themselves. So that's why they're forming this. They want to form this union, and have legal representation to represent them in case of these matters. Now, all this is really going to do is raise Image's price point for freelancers or creators to get their books published there. You'll raise up the cost it takes to get into Image. Once Image accepts you, you got to pay a certain set fee per issue you release through them. And that money is taken out. And then once that money is taken out and the cost of your production is taken out of your profits, you get the remainder. That's how it works in Image. So it's just going to raise the costs of books, making Image a little bit less desirable, in my opinion, in that regard. Now, whether or not this will lead to other publishers following suit or other parties joining, other production staff members and other stuff joining this group from other publishers, that remains to be seen. But it does not pertain to freelance writers and illustrators, which is the majority of what makes up the comic book industry. This is just for production staff, editorial staff, marketing staff. What a freelancer writer illustrator has to go to is a guild. And a guild is different from a union. The guilds, and we have guilds. We have the Comic Book Professional Society in Pasadena, California. We've got the Science Fiction Writers and Artists of America. We've got the Screenwriters Guild of America. We've got different guilds that you can be part of as a comic book writer and or artist. They exist. They've existed for decades. But the difference is the guild can represent the individual members as well as a collective bargaining, whereas a union pretty much represents just the whole of a collective bargaining agreement. And it also, the union only goes with those who are contractually employed to a singular employer, per se. In other words, if I'm working freelance, even if I have an exclusive contract to Marvel, I am still a freelancer unless I am listed as a full-time employee under Marvel's brand. And most, even those people who are freelance creators who have these long-standing exclusivity deals, don't have that. We're still freelancers. Why is that? Well, if you're a full-time employee of a Marvel or a DC, their parent companies, Disney and Time Warner, respectively, they have unionization. You can get in with those people and their unions that work with those organizations and get your medical support, get your insurance, get your other things. If you're a freelancer, you're not entitled to that, and that's what the guilds are for, to help you get better deals with insurance, better deals with supplies, better deals with motel, car rentals. All these things are stuff that guilds deal with. And this is stuff that the Artists Guild of America offers. This is stuff that the Science Fiction Writers of America does associate with. So, the Screenwriters Guild. And on top of that, because of the way our platforms are changing in mass media entertainment today, companies like Marvel and DC are going to be more interested in working with you as a freelancer if you're a member of these guilds, because now you're a member of, say, the Screenwriters Guild or the Science Fiction Writers of America. You're not just working with you can work under the guidelines of these already established parameters in your contracts, in accordance with that the company has already agreed to in with those unions, those guilds. And you don't have to go with another party where they're going to have to go, oh, now I got to renegotiate this thing with a whole new guild or a whole new union. And that's something that Disney and Time Warner are not going to want to do. So my advice to those of you who are reading this up and hearing about this, are saying, "Oh, we're going to get this union, this union." We already have guilds. Learn about them. Go talk about them. Again, it's the Comics Artists Professional Society. They're in Pasadena, California. Read up on the Screenwriters Guild of America, Science Fiction Writers and Fantasy Writers Guild, SFWA, the Horror Writers Association. That's the Horror Writers Guilds. All of these things pertain, and they all relate cross-pollination from film to television to comics to video game writing. They've got it all. They cover it. For artists, I would recommend the Artists Guild of America. And learn about that and what they can do for you and represent for you. And even if you get a guild, that does not change your responsibility as a freelancer to get your own legal representation, to review your contracts, review your agreements with your clientele. Remember, you are your own business. So that's what I have to say about that situation. As far as that is concerned, I'm not saying that it won't change things. Looking forward, there may be some changes in how things go. And yes, I think that there does need to be protections for production staff and editorial staff. You guys have heard about creators and creators and editors alike who have been predatory towards women in the business. You've read the articles about different behaviors that have been kind of questionable. Well, you can't go to a human resources department or to other people that have their own little clique group mentality. That's what you need a union for. Who's got a union rep? Who's got a legal status? Guys like Eddie Berganza would have been gone ages ago if we had a proper union or guild in charge and big enough to make an effect. But right now, the reason you're seeing so many new writers coming in that are novelists, that are screenwriters, that are video game writers, and you hear the old guard bitching, "Oh, SJW, it's not SJW." And what it is that these guys are part of these other guilds, and they're making deals with Disney. They're making deals with Time Warner behind the scenes and say, "Look, you are fulfilling us over here. Get us in over here because we want to be over there too." And they're making these arrangements. And that stuff that's going on behind the scenes nobody wants to talk about, but that's why you're seeing a lot of these award-winning science fiction authors that for decades comics wouldn't let science fiction writers into the business because, clique group nonsense. We're seeing a lot of screenwriters getting in. And this is true of what happened in the 70s and 80s, where a lot of writers like Jerry Conway and Marv Wolfman and others left comics temporarily to go over to Hollywood and get into screenwriting. It was because they had to. They had to leave comics to get into the guilds because of the pettiness and the butting of heads. So we're getting past that now. But that means that you want to get in these guilds like the Screenwriters Guild of America or the Science Fiction Writers of America or the Horror Writers of America, Artists Guild of America for the artists. So that's where I'm going to leave it at that. So there's one more topic that needs to be discussed as well, and that is the DOJ, Department of Justice, has sued to block. And they filed an antitrust lawsuit to block a $2 million merger of Penguin Random House and Simon & Schuster. Why are they doing this? Well, according to the Department of Justice Antitrust Division, they're claiming that this merger would likely harm competition in the publishing industry. The loss of competition would undermine authors' powers to obtain advances and other crucial services for their books and careers. And basically, it would make Penguin Random House by far the largest book publisher in the United States, towering over rivals. It would give them an outsized influence over who and what is published, how much authors are paid for their work, how much how it's distributed would also be affected by this as well. They also named defendants Bertelsmann and Viacom CBS, who are the parent companies of Penguin Random House and Simon & Schuster, respectively. This was announced back in November 2020 that they were going to do the $2 billion merger deal and sell Simon & Schuster to Penguin Random House. Bertelsmann's media empire would then grow to encompass a third of all books sold in the U.S. Is that enough to say that you're going to have an unfair advantage? Well, the answer is no. You have to have more than 40%. And, 1/3 is only 33%. So, obviously, the publishers are going to fight this, and they're going to compete with the DOJ. And I'm not surprised by this, because this is part of what Biden said he was going to try and do when he became president, was kind of block a lot of these mergers so we wouldn't have these power companies like this. The question is whether or not there's actual validation or not legally. The DOJ has not found, nor does it allege, that the combination will reduce competition in sales of books, because they can't. It won't reduce the competition per se, but what it will do is force more creators into where we're already heading. There's a huge growth of, self-publishing in the last 10 to 12 years, through Amazon, through various platforms. And we're doing Patreons. We're doing crowdfunding campaigns for our own books now. And while none of us are getting this mass market appeal through this format. It's all, I'm trying to think of the word, boutique publishing. And what happens is we do the boutique publishing, and then we get enough of a fan base that maybe the mass market publisher, like a Penguin Random House or a Bertelsmann or somebody like that, will take a look at us, and then they say, "Oh, for mass market, we'll do a different version of it," and that's fine. But that's what's going on now, and what this is going to do, if this merger does take place, is basically make it more difficult for that to happen, because they'll have enough control over enough of the market in certain genres, particularly, that they can dictate who will and who won't get in that way. And that there is some legitimate argument to the logistics of that. But is that enough for the DOJ to have alleged this lawsuit and filed this lawsuit? That I don't know. Because by the time this gets to court, and this is going to take a few years, it's not going to happen overnight. This is going to be a court battle for years before it gets actually resolved. I would not expect this to get resolved before 2023. I just don't. Maybe even 2024. But in the next 2 years, you're going to see even further growth of us meaning creators, building brands through these other channels, through crowdfunding and through Amazon and through Lulu.com and IndiePlanet.com and all these other places that do this. So I don't know if enough of us do that and are successful enough at it. The thing is, what we haven't been able to do with that platform is get it to the mass market. If anybody wants to start figuring out how to build and get to the mass market, to the libraries, to the major bookstore chains through a distributorship that way. Once that's established, it's not going to matter what these guys do. They can merger and do whatever the hell they want because they're not going to have control. They're only going to control about maybe 15% of the market instead of 30%. And that's what we need to see. And maybe that's why the DOJ is filing this, because they want to stymie it and hold it in place and see where the growth of the market comes. And if it gets there and we can find someone that's going to build that bridge between boutique publishing and mass market publishing, so that we can get these products into stores as well, so we're not just doing everything online, then they'll drop it. But if they don't have it and it doesn't form over the next 2-3 years, they're probably going to continue to try to block it. That's what I think is going on with that. Hope that made sense. So that's it for tonight. And I want to thank you all for watching. It's been 2 hours and a lot of stuff going on. So that covers that. And whoop, didn't share like it was supposed to. Figures. Tomorrow, time to be announced. We'll have crowdfunding reviews and a live draw session. Thursday at 5 p.m. approximately Eastern Standard Time. You'll get What Did You Get This Week reviews. That'll be what I got at the comic shop. I haven't gotten anything in the mail this week. Don't know if I will or not. Friday is to be determined yet. On Friday, let me remind you all that Ted Davies is launching his cool new Secrets of Hollywood program at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time over at Ted Davies Artistry on YouTube. Check that out. It'll be about a 20 to 40-minute show. And then Saturday at 8 p.m. we'll have our weekend TV and movie discussion. And I haven't determined yet exactly what we'll be talking about. Hopefully I'll have that ready for you guys tomorrow and let you guys know what that is. So with that being said, thanks for watching. As always, we always appreciate anybody who supports us. In the meantime, if you did like this channel or what I talked about today, you think others might, please hit the like, share, and subscribe buttons to continue to get content from this channel. As always, I thank you for your support. If you want to reach out to me on social media, I'm at Facebook at Lewis.BrightRaven, at Twitter at LewisBrightRave2. You can see my own artwork at deviantart.com/BrightRaven. You've been watching Quoth the Raven, Lewis Brightraven, exclusively on YouTube. If you have questions, comments, you see art, you want to commission something, you have suggestions for topics of discussion in future episodes. I always want to say issues instead of episodes, my bad. Quoth the Raven, LBR72@gmail.com is the address to reach out to me at. And if I don't get back with you on that within a day or so, try LewisBrightRaven@yahoo.com. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Have a good one.